to another double edition of Group Text and Behind the Velvet Rope. We actually have a lot to talk about, even though it's summer, where usually it's absolutely dead, but our celebs have been out and about and causing drama.
Don't you just love it? It never slows down for us.
It never does, and we always are like, oh, there's nothing happening, and then we start talking, and it's like, there's always a lot happening.
Yesterday, I was like, I don't know how we're going to do a show. There's nothing to say. And then, yes, by the time we hang up the phone, we're like, I don't even know how we're going to fit all this in.
Exactly. So you're going to bring us up to speed on the big New Jersey info.
New Jersey's over, and now there's all these grumblings. Two things.
Wait, over. Define over.
I guess I should define. Well, the season is over.
Yes.
Is it over forever?
No.
You don't think so?
I don't think so. It's still making the network too much money.
And it's still one of the franchises that makes money. So recently there's two things. One, Melissa has come out and said that, you know, if producers want to go in a dark and toxic route, that they'll bring Teresa back. And if they do, that's just to show that she's not interested in being a part of. Now, do we think that Melissa Gorga or anyone else on the Real Housewives of New Jersey is going to resign on their own?
No. And I think this was like she was getting ahead of the story. So let her say something before Teresa says something. Right. So I feel like it was like almost an opening salvo, so to speak.
Or yes, like if Teresa is invited back, Melissa could say, well, remember I said I didn't want to be a part of this show and that's why I'm not there.
Exactly. I think it was laying the groundwork for whatever decision she makes. If they both come back and it's super dark and toxic, she could be like, I told you it was going to be dark and toxic.
Yes.
It gives her, you know, it also gives her an escape exit, an emergency exit if it gets too crazy during the season.
Yes. And there's this other rumor now, too, that like they have called a truce and they've worked it out to save both of their jobs. Now, I call bullshit on this because when would this? Teresa's been on vacation. Like, when did
they do
talk?
have phones and texts.
They do have phones and texts, but I know from some reliable sources, which shall remain nameless, that this is not true. You never really know, but I know.
You never really know, but I know.
Right.
I like that. But I do think it could be fantastic for both of them to keep it going.
Yeah, but it's like...
Are either of them being offered their own show?
No, but there's a lot of talk of that.
Okay, well then but maybe they're getting their own show together. See, I think they're both going to... I think it's just so good for both of them, and it keeps them both in the headlines, and I don't think either of them wants to give up that level of power, quote unquote, and fame and money.
I was going to say the salary ain't bad.
No, but going from toxic to, Haley and Justin had their baby, Jack Blues Bieber.
It's going to be, all I can think of is like, this kid's going to have good genes.
This kid is going to have great genes. There's always that chance that someone gets all the recessive genes.
So it won't look like Haley or Justin. God.
It does happen.
It does happen. I mean, I can think of some examples. We won't.
So can I, but I'm saying we're not going to say that out loud. But you know what? I think in a relationship that everybody was doubting, they've hung in there.
Justin seems like a tortured soul to me that like he needs Haley. Like I think he's really happy with her. Mind you, I don't know, even the worst genes of Justin Bieber I think are probably pretty good if you want my opinion.
Best wishes to Haley and Justin. I think it's very exciting, and I think that is a child that's very wanted and is going to be very loved.
The first of many. He says he wants a lot.
Wow. I just couldn't imagine that. Just even for myself, a lot is a scary thing to me. Anyway, we're bouncing all around. More Real Housewives. Vicki has suddenly come out and discussing this massive health scare.
Yes. So she had some infection, like sepsis. I think she went into like the hospital. I don't really know the details of it, but basically it was something went from like 0 to 100, and it's like an infection. And it sounds like they said she had a 10% chance of surviving.
Wow.
And it sounds like it's not over. Like she seems tired.
If it is sepsis, that can be incredibly dangerous.
Okay, well, that's scary.
That's very scary. But there's all sorts of Orange County stuff going on. justice for Shannon.
She's having a good season. I wasn't such a huge Shannon fan before this season, but you know, who doesn't feel for Shannon? You know, her ex, John Jansen, is now dating Alexis. Alexis is on the show. They keep throwing Shannon's DUI back in her face. She's getting a really good edit, but even in interviews, like she's doing a lot of interviews and she's calm and cool and like, this is a different Shannon for me.
She's just taking, I want to say the high road, but just being like, if I'm rubber and you're glue, it bounces off me and sticks to you.
Yes.
It's just such a mature way to put it.
I like that. And no, she is doing that though. She's walking out of scenes like, I'm sorry, I'm going to excuse myself now. Like, what? Since when can you imagine Teresa saying, I'm sorry, I'm going to excuse myself now and walking out?
No, but I think she's doing the right thing.
Yes.
And it's making her look good.
Very good. She's having a good season.
Okay. We got to talk about something that's just been huge that we've been waiting for, which is that Ben and Jen finally announced their divorce, which, you know, in the papers, it said they've been separated since April 26th, I believe was the day. So it's been a long time coming. Obviously, we've been hearing, you know, the hoofbeats coming. This is not news to anybody. But you and I were talking, I assumed that there was a prenup or that everybody has enough that nobody's going to put up a fight. But then I just saw, again, which I didn't think about, is what they've both done in the 2 years they've they've been married for. They don't have a prenup. That means it's all community property, including Ben's new production company back with Matt Damon. And she had the album, 2 or 3 movies, the documentary. So potentially it could get very, very messy.
That's what I was saying yesterday. I was like, no, there's no prenup, which I don't even understand that. You know, like you hear, and we'll get into Taylor and Travis soon, but like you hear all this, that's apparently what's taking so long, and it's like, rightfully so. I just want to know who will gain from this. Like, is it his production company? Did she do more during?
Well, we don't even know if they're going to fight over it.
We don't.
This is all speculation, and it was basically just a list of everything that they are technically each entitled to. But again, we don't know the paperwork. We don't know, you know, how everything is set up.
No, I have a weird, and like, when does it ever end amicably in Hollywood or anywhere? I just feel that they will just part ways. Right?
I do too. I think
get the impression they're done with it.
They're both just going to walk away. That's what I think. But we've seen, I mean, the Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie fight has been going on for how many years now?
Right.
So you just don't know.
No. I thought Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie were like soulmates before it all.
Is anyone really a soulmate?
No.
You know.
I mean,